Hey, I'm Ben Stocker. I'm a senior construction technologist at Skender. We're here at the Papard job and we are doing a more accurate documentation of all of the utility locates. The utility locators came out yesterday. They come with their locators and then they spray paint down dashed lines showing where all the underground utility locates are. And that's great, but that paint's gonna go away, you know, the next rain we get or just in a few days or something, it fades away. So we want lasting documentation of that. So what we do to improve on this documentation is we come out here with our EMLID GNSS receiver and go out and mark out all of these points. So then we get accurate documentation that is geolocated that we can bring in as a layer and overlay on our drone maps and see that as the project changes. So after all this ground has been torn up, you know, halfway through the job, we want to go back and see, okay, where was that electrical line over here? We're working over in this area now. We want to make sure we don't hit it. We can just load up that layer where we captured with this.
My name's Dan Torres. I'm the safety director for Skender. Obviously, one of our first steps is we want to locate all your utilities. So what we did is we contacted Ben Stocker, who has the ability to fly a drone and use the EMLID device, and able to mark all the utilities that were located by our private utility contractor.
Before we captured with the EMLID device here, I first flew the drone at a nice low elevation so we can see all the paint markings nicely. So that's just good to have just that visual record of all of the markings. This is a GNSS receiver that is connected through NTRIP to an RTK network and using the same RTK network that we are flying the drone with, so that when we bring it all into DroneDeploy, then it's all gonna line up versus just looking at a PDF with some colored lines on it and saying, oh, we know it's roughly over here somewhere. We'll know exactly where it's at.
What this helps us out, it helps out with coordination, it helps us out with our mobilization. So when we start demo, we start doing our underground utilities and our foundation work, it just gives us an as-built or a map of what existing utilities are within the job site, and it assists us obviously with how to coordinate our execution with safe digging procedures.
Capturing this with the drone and with the GNSS receiver on RTK makes a big difference because it's a lot more accurate than just GPS. Where GPS we're accurate to a few feet to 30 feet, who knows, depends on how good your signal is where you're at. This is going to be sub-inch accuracy so that we know a lot closer to exactly where that utility is going to be. So you're going to be safer later when you have to dig around that area.
It also is going to help us out once we start breaking ground. We may have to actually cut off some utilities because some of these utilities may run within our demolition and underground activities. So it just gives us the opportunity to start the coordination, the conversation with the contractors, getting all the stakeholders involved, because sometimes what we find out with these utilities, it does trigger us to start coordination and replanning, and unfortunately it may change our course of action for our work.
I've been pushing for teams to use this and I'm trying to get involved as much as I can because this is a surveying tool, but it is so accessible and easy to use. So I want our teams to be able to actually utilize this technology and not be scared by it because they think, oh, it's scary surveying equipment. This is incredibly easy to use. It's a simple, intuitive app, and we get really, really good, accurate documentation from it.
I think also what it enables us to do is to be actually on the site before even our superintendent's on the job site and be able to provide him, you know, a footprint of what logistically he's going to be challenged with. Drawings are not as accurate, as-builts are not as accurate. So now what we're doing is we're one step ahead of everybody else right now, and it really helps out with our pre-construction activities. You're going to have multiple phases that are going to happen throughout the project, where now you're going to have other contractors that are going to be digging around these new utilities being installed. So now our superintendent has a reference, they have an as-built that he could share with the rest of the contractors, because the last thing that we want to do is hit a utility that we installed, you know. So for quality assurance and control, I think it's definitely a safe way of executing our work. Just having these devices here, I think number one is just making it really accessible, it's efficient, it prevents us from hitting utilities, and more importantly, we're now sharing this information with our trade partners because it puts them in the position to succeed.